Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I will be traveling to Thailand today to make one of the most popular noodle dishes in the world, pad thai. Like probably many of you, I tried it both in restaurants and at home, but this time I want to see how close I can get to the dish served by street vendors in Thailand. Sometimes dishes, especially those from Southeast Asia, can be difficult to replicate outside of the region because some ingredients are hard or even impossible to find. But this time I decided to take a trip to the closest Thai shop to retrieve some of them, so you won't have to do it. And I hope I'll be able to tell you what you can substitute them with. One of such ingredients is preserved sweet radish, probably the trickiest one to find or to replace. Sometimes Japanese pickled radish or takuan is suggested as a substitute, but honestly it doesn't quite taste the same. Thai radish has a sweeter taste, the Japanese one tangier. You could go for the latter, but I'd probably suggest a smaller amount. Although, you would only use a small amount of radish anyway, so if you can't find it, you might actually be better off omitting it altogether, without compromising the original flavor of the dish too much. And here's another challenging one to find: Chinese chives, or garlic chives, which I got from the same Thai shop. Unless this particular batch right here isn't potent enough, they're quite mild, so the closest match to me is regular chives, rather than spring onions which have a more pungent taste. But again, that's only my opinion. As for palm sugar, the closest matches are definitely brown sugar and jaggery for that hint of caramelized sugar taste. Lastly, dry shrimps. Shrimp paste is a good substitute, but it might be just as difficult to find. Plus, careful not to use more than a teaspoon of shrimp paste as it tends to be very strong both in smell and taste. Otherwise, the easiest might be to replace dry shrimps simply with more fish sauce. And now, let's get started. Like with every stir-fry, most of the time is spent preparing the ingredients rather than actually cooking them. In this saucepan, I'm combining a couple of tablespoons of tamarind paste with 30 grams of palm sugar and half a glass of water. You can reduce the amount of tamarind paste if it's particularly thick and therefore concentrated. I heat it on the hob for about 10 minutes until the sugar has dissolved. I'm also roasting 40 grams of peanuts in the air fryer for 5 minutes, though you might need 10 minutes in the oven. I remove the skin. Then I crush them in a mortar, or you can obtain the same result with a knife on a chopping board. The noodles of choice for pad thai are rice stick noodles, which are also labeled as flat rice noodles or pad thai noodles sometimes, and they're very easy to find nowadays. I've placed 130 grams of them in a bowl and I've added warm water so that I can let them soak for about 15 minutes. And now, I chop a couple of shallots, or you can use half a red onion if you prefer. I also cut a bunch of Chinese chives, like this, about 5 centimeters in length. As I said before, you can replace them with regular chives or otherwise spring onions for a slightly stronger taste. The next ingredient is tofu, 150 grams. But it's important that you use firm tofu rather than silky tofu, or it will most likely crumble as you stir fry it. You might have seen yellow-colored tofu in pad thai served in Thailand, but it seems that's all it really is: regular tofu dyed using turmeric. Let me know if you know more about this though. After I've diced it, I peel 6 kingprawns, but I keep their heads and tails on. I also slit their back with a knife so I can pull out this little digestive tract. Lastly, I cut the lime into wedges and I beat a couple of eggs. And that was it. All the ingredients are ready now. So I'll start by bringing some vegetable oil to temperature in my wok on medium heat. I throw in the prawns and I fry them very briefly. About a minute in total, just until they turn pink on both sides. You don't want to overcook them or they'll become rubbery. I can remove them now and add in shallots and tofu. Just a couple of minutes to allow the shallots to soften up without burning them. At this point, I move tofu and shallots to one side to make room for 2 beaten eggs. I briefly fry them and scramble them. Eggs tend to absorb oil, so I add some more. Then I add the noodles and the tamarind paste. Just a little bit of water to help the noodles cook through, but as they've been soaked, they won't need more than a couple of minutes. It's time to add 3 tablespoons of fish sauce, 3 tablespoons of dry shrimps, and 10 grams of preserves with radish. Lastly, here are 60 grams of beansprouts and the Chinese chives. Just a few more seconds, then I can take the noodles out of the wok. And now, for that bit of a food stall style kind of finish, I fry another egg for each dish. I try to spread it as wide and thin as possible by swirling it around like this. Then I throw in half of the noodles. I carefully scrape the edges so that I can wrap the fried egg around the noodles. And I transfer it to a plate. Well, that was probably too little egg for too many noodles, but I managed somehow. I placed the king prawns on the side, and I sprinkled some of those crushed peanuts on top. Plus some chili flakes, a couple of lime wedges, and voila! This dish is such a wonderful combination of flavors. It's savory and spicy, sweet and sour, and gets a nice crunch from the peanuts. It was definitely worth making it with as many original ingredients as possible, but pad thai is always a great dish, even with some substitutions based on what's available in your grocery store. And you? How do you make your pad thai? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. So, where are we going next?